Hey, I am Paul Baker. I am the CEO for the Greater Idaho Falls Chamber of Commerce, and today I'm with Jim Freeman. Jim is running for City Council again, so seat six. So, Jim, just tell us a little bit about kind of why you got involved, why you wanted to be elected into office, and why you're doing it again.
Okay. Well, it starts back when I was a kid, honestly, because my grandfather was on the city council. Started the Greenbelt, actually. He's
Oh,
the
wow.
architect of our city parks, basically. And then my father was on the city council, and I worked for the city at the fire department for 26 years. And during that time, I was very involved with the city, of course, and thought often about city council after I retired. And so 7 or 8 or 9 years after I retired, I decided that it was time to throw my hat in the ring and keep keep trying to lead Idaho Falls forward. So, I got involved with the mayor's review committee for the Parks and Recreation Department. That was a spark for me to see a different side of the city than I had seen as a firefighter, and to know that I had something to contribute.
Yeah, awesome. And so, why do you continue to want to stay involved and stay engaged?
The work never ends. There are, even though we've accomplished a lot of things with like the law enforcement complex and the fiber project and other things, there are other things on the horizon that I'm very interested in getting completed.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about what's on the horizon.
Um, First on my list right now is a recreation center, a community center. We've been talking about this for 30 years, and it hasn't gotten done. We talked about the law enforcement complex for 30 years, and we did get it done, and we just had to find a way, a creative way to bring that forward, to finance it mostly. I mean, that's generally about the money usually,
Mm-hmm.
the new rec center or community center, we're talking in $40 million price tag generally. So yeah, we're going to have to find a way to build this thing. I mean, we can't put it off any longer. We're at the point we invested in the rec center last year, put a new floor in and stuff, but you know, the size of the thing is just not up to the size of the city anymore. So
Right.
yeah.
I notice on some of your campaign materials, you're saying that you've heard and you've listened to people who have expressed their concerns about growth and infrastructure.
hmm
So, tell us a little bit more where your thoughts are on how we address that.
Hmm. Yeah, I've heard a lot of this on the campaign trail too about high density housing, particularly in the housing market. And we do have an issue with the housing market. We have a low inventory of homes, and this multifamily housing is addressing that. That's what's happening to address our growth. Um, there are a lot of homes coming off the market, I believe, due to short-term rentals,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's exacerbating the issue of home ownership for people. That the price is going up because we do have such a shortage. We have like a 5% vacancy rate in the whole city of Idaho Falls, and I understand. I'm not a realtor, but I understand from realtors that that's pretty darn low, and
Yep.
that it's driving the price up.
Yep.
Um, we need help. We can't do this alone as a city. We need help from the legislature. We need help nationally, and we do advocate, and I have advocated with our elected officials at higher levels for some help with this, and hopefully we can work together and find a solution. But I think it's a nationwide problem, not
Right.
just a city problem. But we feel it here because it's closest to home. So
Right.
yeah.
So, one of the things that the city published a while back now was the Imagine IF
hmm
plan. Do you think that is still current, is fit for purpose, or do you think there needs to be some further reimagination?
Well, it is a plan that we try to update every 5 or 10 years, right? And we went a long time without updating. I think we went 13 years this last time before we updated our comprehensive plan, and we named it Imagine IF. It's an award-winning plan. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it is highly regarded by in circles that I run in Association Idaho Cities and so forth. It's a good document. Does it need tweaking? It does often, it's a working document. So yes, we need to revisit it. We need to, to see where things, because this high density housing big build hadn't really started when we were writing that. So yeah, there are parts of it I think probably need to be tweaked.
Yeah. And so I guess like one of the things that I've noticed and observed over the last few weeks and months along the campaign trail is there is a lack of clarity and understanding what the different roles are between the city council person and the mayor, and what the city can do legally versus what everyone just wishes the city could just do.
Yeah.
What are you kind of like? What would you say are the big kind of misunderstandings or misconceptions about what you as a city council person could do?
Okay. Well, we have the power of the purse, I guess. If you could compare it to like the President of the United States and Congress, right? So the mayor doesn't vote. The mayor, unless there's to break a tie.
Right.
So the agenda is set by the mayor's office, though. Even though the council president also has a say in what's on the agenda, but yeah, council's role is to we bring things forward. Of course, we have a good relationship with the mayor. We meet with the mayor quite often. I know the division directors meet with the mayor on a bi-weekly basis, probably. Council members each have liaison assignments. I currently have police and fire and power and fiber, and so those are where I concentrate my energy. But you've got to be up to speed on every department in the city. We have 11 departments. Idaho Falls is one of the most unique cities in the state. Is that we have our own airport. Boise's the only other city. Well, I guess Coeur d'Alene has an airport, but it's not much of one.
Right.
It doesn't have many flights coming. We have the power company that I think there's 2 others in the state. There are some that do distribution and so forth, but to generate their own power, no. The fiber project is front and center, is a big draw on us. Like Boise doesn't even do their own roads, right? They're in the Ada County Highway District, so they don't have a street department, which we do. They have a private garbage pickup in the Treasure Valley. We have our own. We have private water service.
Right.
We do our own water. So yeah, we're very complicated. So I think, where were we going?
So just really trying to understand what your role as a city council person versus what the mayor can't do. Just
compared to the mayor.
Get some clarification
Yeah.
of where your limitations are and what you
Yeah.
can do as a city council person. And then I guess the follow up to that would be, how do you get the private sector engaged to help with the bits that the city can't do all by itself?
Okay. Private public partnerships. We've been pretty good with stuff like that, like with the ice arena and the zoo with the and so forth. So yeah, and the civic center for the performing arts, the Frontier Center. We see the value in that of these public-private partnerships. I think to build the community center, that's going to have to happen. I don't see us, being able to pass a bond. Honestly, it's so hard to pass a bond these days, especially with this 2/3 threshold.
Right.
It makes it very difficult. So we're going to have to find partners to do a project like that. Mayor's office is there every day. I'll liken city council more to a part-time job. We probably work on average between 20 and 30 hours a week, but a lot of our time we're not in an office, right? We're at home actually reading. My packet for this afternoon's work session is 270 pages, right? So I get that over the weekend, and I have to read it before I go to the meeting on Monday. So yeah, we spend a lot of time privately, but we're also available to people out in the community all the time. I rarely get through the grocery store without having a 5 or 10 minute conversation with somebody who wants to talk about something.
Right.
But the mayor is like there all the time, right? And her, she's got a staff. I don't have a staff.
Right.
Right, I do all the work myself, but her staff helps me, right, with different things, and keeps us in the loop. So
Great.
whenever somebody contacts the mayor's office with a complaint or a question, those are passed on to us from the mayor's office, and
And so where do you kind of think the kind of line between your level of involvement as an elected official to kind of handing it over to the city to then execute? Where does that line go?
well, our division directors. I won't say that they run the city, but they are very an integral part of running the city, right? And so most of the solutions to the problems that we present, because that's kind of what we do, is we hear from the people, we bring things forward that, hey, maybe we need to think about this, or maybe there's something here we can do better. Then we take it to the division directors, and they are the ones that kind of find the solutions. They're the experts, right, in each of these fields. And so they'll bring stuff forward, and we'll get it on a work session. They'll educate us about it, and that's a lot of my job, is just being willing to learn stuff that I don't know, right? That we have experts come in, we have outside experts come in and teach us about power, or about streets, or about anything that has to do with running the city. It's a very, like I said, it's a very complex city.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And so, as you've kind of served over the many years now and been involved in the community, what are your kind of hopes for the next 5 years for this area?
Well, I'm concerned that, one thing I want to say is Idaho Falls right now. I was thinking about downtown on the way down here when I was driving down to see you, and how vibrant our downtown is right now. I mean, I've lived here my whole life. I've lived here. I just turned 70 this week.
Happy birthday.
I've lived here. Thank you. I've lived here my whole life, and I have never seen downtown more vibrant than it is right now.
Yeah.
I am so impressed with, and that's a public-private partnership, right? That the city maintains stuff downtown, but we also there's a lot of investment going on downtown, and a lot of new restaurants, and a lot of new places to go, and it's clean and it's safe. We've increased our police presence downtown because it's a good problem to have, right? That we need more police downtown because obviously there's more people going downtown. I was thinking about the parking issue, about we're in the middle of trying to figure out parking stuff downtown, and we're going to have to address that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So over the last while, and you've served within the city council, what would you say has been the highlight, and what has been the counter to that? What's been the most frustrating challenge that you faced?
I'll start with the frustrating and finish on the high point. It's often, excuse me, it's really difficult sometimes to educate the public, right? There's a lot of distrust in government these days, and that's hard to overcome. I can assure you that everybody who is on the city council and the mayor's office wants to serve the people. That's what it's about, right? And that's the mantra. And boy, I've kind of lost my train of thought. You're gonna have to cut this part out.
Frustrating part. So let me ask you the question again.
Okay.
So over the years that you've served, tell us a little bit what's been the highlight of your time, and then what has been the counter to that, the most frustrating.
Let's start with the low part again.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of it is just educating the public. It's frustrating sometimes. We think that we're getting the word out about things. The water tower is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Where we chose a site, and I'm going to make an excuse here. It'll sound like an excuse, but we were meeting during COVID at that time when we made that decision to put that in the park. It was a bad decision, and we saw the light of that, and we decided to move it. But yeah, we heard from the public loud and clear about that, and there was Facebook's page started. There were 5,000 followers of a Facebook page that was to save not put the water tower in South Capitol Park.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess that's a good thing, but it's also frustrating because we think that we're getting the word out. We think that our public relations and our the people are our Facebook presence and all the things that we're doing to, we go on the news and we talk about stuff, and people don't hear our message many times. It's also frustrating to me with the budget when people are critical of the budget, but nobody shows up for the hearings.
Right.
I don't think we had a single person show up for a budget hearing this year, even though we're criticized heavily in online forums and so forth.
Right.
But the people aren't coming and speaking to us personally, so that's a frustrating part. The great part is there's a total feeling of accomplishment. I mean, being on council has enriched my life, and I'm going to steal that quote from Tom Howley, because you get to see things through to fruition, and you know that you're doing good. It's like the guy who plants the tree when he's an old man, and he will never sit in its shade, right?
Right.
We know that we're building Idaho Falls for the future. We're not concentrating on the here and now. We're concentrating way in the future, and that's very. I have grandkids that live here in Idaho Falls, and I can't wait for them to be able to go use this community center that I hope to build in the next 4 years. My grandfather's park, Freeman Park, has always been a sense of pride for me, and my grandkids call it their park,
Yeah.
right? So
That's so sweet.
that legacy is one of the things that makes me want to keep serving, and I'm very proud of it.
Good. So, if you could share a message then to folks that will be turning out to vote for you, what would be the kind of key thing that you would like for people to take away that may not know who you are?
Yeah. Okay. This is a well, first of all, I'll just say get out and vote. Today is the first day to vote in person at the election center downtown on Capitol Avenue. I would ask people to get out and vote. I'm not going to ask them. I'm not going to say, please, vote for me, because I think my record speaks for itself. I think that I've been in public service my whole life. I've spent half of my life working through the city of Idaho Falls as a firefighter, and now I'm 8 years on the council. So I have the experience, I have the demeanor, I have the knowledge to be able to lead this city. I'm an open book. People can come talk to me anytime, and they do, and I'll always give you the time of day, and I'm happy to serve.
Brilliant. Well, appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much, Jim.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Take care.